So the title of this video is a little dishonest. It's not really an old versus new as much as it is a new versus reissue. So basically these guys were released pretty much at the same time. This is the Walmart reissue of the vintage Beast Wars Tigatron, and this is the Kingdom Tigatron. Basically, Tigatron has been a favorite of mine for a very, very long time, and I've wanted a figure of him for an equally long time. But the original vintage figure from Kenner/Hasbro looked like garbage. Honestly, look at this. It looked like it was already yellowed right out of the box. It's not because it's a 25-year-old figure. No, it's just Hasbro making it look kind of yellowed. And you will see some influence on that in the Kingdom one. But this reissue is inspired by the Takara Tomy version of this figure. And let me tell you, having a nice bright white Tigatron is a lot more appealing than a yellow one. So I'm very happy Hasbro went this route. But one good thing about this video is that we still have a good opportunity to look at the old version of the Tigatron toy versus the new one. I did not get the reissue Cheetor, because Cheetor, he's cool. He's cool enough to get the Netflix Kingdom one, but he's not cool enough to get the reissue. But Tigatron, he's one of my favorite Maximals. I love white Bengal tigers. Had to get this. I also got the orange Bengal tiger, of course. I'm from Cincinnati. Of course I had to. That game, by the way, right? I didn't watch it, but man, they can't stand to win. They can't stand to win. Anyways, Tigatron time. So, this is an interesting comparison, because, I mean, you can see this one looks a lot like the show. It's a nice, accurate size where he's larger, but this one, he's kind of special. This toy has always been notorious for being pretty decent, but having one of the weirdest chests of all time. So let's just get into it, man. You can already see here. You can see what I was talking about with kind of like that yellow tinge. The Kingdom one did actually take some of that. Honestly, not a fan. I wish they didn't. I wish they didn't, man. I wish they would have just kept it. But it does give them more of like a natural look, I guess, because, I mean, a white tiger is not going to be pure white. It's not going to be looking like shiny plastic white over here. It's going to look a little more muted and natural. But we can already see this comparison right here. Another thing, too, is the head sculpts. This one is very obviously just Cheetor, and that one is actually the unique Tigatron head with the more kind of cat look to it. Whoop! Old one died. It's all good. But, yeah, I mean, you can see side by side here what you're looking at. It's kind of funny, though. This one's like, what, 22 bucks? And this one's, what, 10 bucks more about? So, I mean, you kind of get what you pay for, I think. But I don't know, man. Is this worth it for a reissue cost? I want to say yeah, because, I mean, look at the price of G1 reissues. It's not super cheap for Hasbro to dig up these super old molds and put them back out there. But still, man, honestly, I was pleasantly surprised by this toy. It's not bad at all. Chest is definitely wonky, that's for sure. I mean, from plenty of angles, it looks perfectly serviceable, and others it looks really ridiculous. It's one of those toys where he can hardly reach in front of his own chest. He's definitely very busty. He's a very busty robot. And one interesting thing, I feel like they could have, like, look at all that hollow space in there. And there's like just a screw. I feel like Hasbro, back in the day, could have totally engineered this to collapse in just a little bit more and fill out this chest, or at least have a little panel that flips up. But, you know, I'm not going to judge Hasbro's decision-making from, what, 20 years ago? 25 years ago? So, yeah. Really fun toy, though. His accessories, basically, one is his butt. It's a butt gun. Flip his tail, covers the gun. It's literally his butt. Like, that's what this is. It is his butt. It's whatever. I don't mind these accessories on Beast Wars figures, but it is unfortunate because if you don't have these... Like, see, me, when I was shopping for a Tigatron, an actual vintage one back in the day, a Takara version, it's hard to find them complete. And without them being complete, the animal, the beast mode, isn't even fully realized. So that's unfortunate. This doesn't really have anywhere to store. It just kind of... And I guess you could put it back on his butt if you were so inclined, but then it looks a little funny. I wouldn't really... I mean, I guess you could do that, but I wouldn't bother. And he has his gut gun, which is also very special. So yeah, his gut gun, just a little. It squirts water. It does. Should I squirt it? Would you guys like that? I think you guys would like that. Let's see if it works. Thankfully, I just freshened up my water, so it doesn't have any icky, backwash. So let's squish this. Let's fill this up. Oh, look at that. It's going. Okay, you ready? You ready? Okay, it did it more once I, put it back in. Let's see if we can... Oh, yeah, look at that. All over the wall. Oh, nasty. I don't even have napkins. Hope you guys... hope you guys are happy with that, because now my desk is wet. And this thing, hopefully, it works pretty well, I gotta say. Hopefully it won't have any damage, because there's going to be water in it forever. So yeah, we'll just have a wet wall for the rest of the video. It's all good, no biggie. Yeah, he holds that. It's a weapon he holds. His articulation, not bad. He's got a hinge at the head, but you'll see why. So he's got a hinge up and down, and he's got a swivel that kind of works. Not the greatest. Ball joints at the shoulders. Beast Wars really revolutionized the ball joint. This is really where ball joints came into their prime. He's got those joints, you can already see. He's got this joint, so that's pretty cool as well, I guess. He's got those joints and that joint. He also has that joint and also that joint, but that's more for the transformation. So yeah, pretty posable. On paper, he's fully articulated. He does have one other feature in his robot mode. That is his mutant head. So you see he's got his nice little noggin there. Flip this down. Blah, mutant head. Blah. And honestly, this is pretty neat. I dig that. The Bengal Tiger, the orange version of Tigatron, actually uses its mutant head. And thought about bringing that in for the video, but it doesn't really... Do I have it on hand? I don't think I do. I might, actually. Ah, I do. I didn't put him on the shelf yet. A little bit of a bonus. We can compare the head sculpts and the mutant head. Because I did get this. I'm not going to do its own video on it. Because why would I? But we can see the mutant head sculpts. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Really do like this figure, honestly. Another Amazon exclusive, though, so good luck getting it. But yeah, really cool little mutant head gimmick. So let's get him transformed. This transformation, gotta say, very easy, very pleasant. So just flip his beast head right there. Flip this around. I'm pretty sure you do that. I mean, we're almost there. Honestly, we're almost there. This is a lot easier and more pleasant than the new one, but then again, it's a lot simpler of a toy. I mean, look at this thing. This is not rocket science. Then get his butt right there. Then his gut gun, which can still squirt in the beast mode, which is special. Not gonna make any comment. But yep, there we go. You honestly don't need the gut gun. Honestly, it does actually make him look a little more slender without it, but you definitely need that butt plate. Definitely need that. And here we go. Here's his White Tiger mode. Very nice looking. It really reminds me of the White Tiger toys I had as a kid. I love White Tigers. They're so cool. The black is very nicely painted. Very stark. That's a good description for this figure. Stark. The contrasts are very stark. Super cool figure. Articulation in beast mode. The legs can move back, I guess, but that looks ugly. Head can do nothing. Back legs can do that. Basically, he can pee like a dog. That's what he can do. So yeah, that's original Tigatron. Cool figure. Really nice. I really dig it. So yeah, there's the old one. Now let's talk about the new one. So, really cool figure too. Honestly, you could get the super expensive, like $200 masterpiece, or you could just get this. Honestly, what's the difference? Not too much. So, for weapons, he has a tail, which is, a tail. It does have that kind of yellowish tinge to it, which, not the biggest fan. It's also hollow on the bottom, so it could have been better. He also does have a version of the gut gun, which is pretty cool. It's nice to see that back, even though this does not incorporate into the beast mode like the original one did. So he has that. That's pretty cool. The head, you can see. Of course, the actual robot head is accurate to the show, which I appreciate, but also the head incorporates into the body a lot better. The shoulder kibble. Pretty accurate to the show. I like how neatly and tightly it folds up too. He does have the butt plate, where it normally used to be on the tail. Now it's just literally a butt plate. Kind of would have been neat to actually still have that as an accessory, maybe as a shield, but it's whatever. This one actually has some pretty decent articulation. You'd be pretty surprised. I mean, this guy did actually make it as one of the top figures of 2021 before it was even really released. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, still, it's really nice. This is a really nice figure. You can pretty much see the posability here. It's got really nice ankle tilt, really nice up and down at the ankle too. So not a lot of figures can have a nice like forward ankle lunge. This one actually can. You just have to balance him right. There we go. I think that'll do it. Yeah, there we go. He's trying to not slip slide on all the water. Yeah, look at that. Got a little bit of lunge to the ankle. Man, this figure is awesome. It really is. This is, as I think it was my friend Andrew said, this is peak Hasbro. This is peak Hasbro. Or was it Davis? It was one of them. Shout out to Andrew and Davis. You guys rock. You know who you are. I love you guys. You know them. If you've been a fan of the channel, you know who they are. Plastic People Podcast peeps. You know them. But yeah, man, super cool figure. Let's get into that transformation. Let's do it. So, this one is a little more interesting because a little more complexity involved. Like you can already see the head. It's kind of interesting how the robot head incorporates into the beast head this time around. The arms do once again just fold up. And I think that's pretty much how these go. It's honestly not very hard. I was kind of painting it out like it's a hard transformation, but it's not at all. It's pretty simple. Then these actually hinge on the elbow joint back. There we go. And make sure those go in without destroying things. There we go. Tab that. And his arms. Oop! I just totally dismembered his arm. It's all good. Don't worry about it. It's just a little cat abuse. There we go. Man, this is a really nice figure. It really is. The legs are definitely a little bit more involved, but not too much more. It does have like this trap door you have to look out for right there. I would say push these in before you even get the feet into the leg there. And then bend his legs, pretty much how you did on the vintage. Get his tail in his butt. And his gut gun, I would just leave that off to the side. Yeah, there we go. There is the Kingdom Tigatron's Tiger mode. And I have to say, this is definitely an improvement. It still has, has some hollowness, but then again, the old one definitely did too. It's a toy. It's a toy. It does have a little bit more of his color showing, like right there on the back of his legs, but then again, vintage one did on that department too. But yeah, I mean, definitely looks less hunchbacked. Definitely looks a little more natural. He actually has some articulation. He actually has proper shoulder motion. They fully articulated his cat legs, which is really nice. He even has a little ball joint, a little hinge there at his paw. His head, number one, very nice sculpt. But number two actually does have a jaw where you can open up and see his mouth. So that's pretty nice. And his back legs are pretty similar to the vintage. You can move them. You have the hinge, and you also do have a paw right there, which is appreciated. Tail, I guess you can swivel it, but I don't know. You start seeing the hollowness, and it just starts looking ugly. I wish the tail was done a little bit better. I also don't like the yellowy tinge too much. I really do like the stark white and black of this, but then again, that's just me liking white tiger toys talking. This is definitely a more realistic interpretation of it, so I can't really complain. Alrighty, guys, we're there. There we go. There is old versus new, or as I said, new versus reissue of Tigatron said and done. So, awesome figures. I really do love these guys. Both of them. It's very satisfying after all these years to finally have a couple Tigatrons in my collection, because I'll never have the Masterpiece. That is way out of my price range, and I just don't mess with Masterpiece anymore, man. I can't be bothered. Not when the mainline toys are this good. I really have no reason to even bother with it. So yeah, there we go. Honestly, which one do I recommend? It depends. Do you want a retro flair, or do you want a modern take? Do you want show accurate, or do you want vintage toy accurate? It's up to you. Me personally, I'm a huge Tigatron fan. I'm very happy that I got both of these. Yeah, just let me know, man. Let me know which one you prefer. Obviously, one is fundamentally, on paper, better than the other. But then again, we're talking about like a 25-year difference between them, so, I mean, that's gonna happen. So yeah, guys, there we go. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, let me know which one you prefer. Both of them are really cool toys. A special shout out to the patrons of Patreon. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. As always, I really appreciate it. Alrighty, guys, there we go. Have a good one, and I guess I'll end off with this little fun bit. Yeah, we should not have anything protruding under the bottoms of animals and toys. We just shouldn't.